Today we are looking at the brand new Ridgid max output Recip saw. If you've been following the channel, you know that the new max output by Ridgid is their new flagship. But today what we're going to do is we're going to go over this brand new Recip saw. We're going to see what it can do. We're going to slice and dice. We're going to use and abuse. We're going to talk about all the upgrades that they did with this saw. We're going to find out if there's any limitations. We'll look at the battery a little bit, and then we'll also talk about the upcoming videos that we're going to do with this Recip saw and some of the new other Ridgid tools that they just came out with in the new max output line. So sit back, get subscribed, and please, if you could, smash that like button if you like any part of this video. All right, so let's talk about the specs on this Ridgid saw first. A lot of people have been asking for a longer stroke length. They've also been asking for a rafter hook, and they wanted a faster strokes per minute. Now, of course, we will show you this thing in action, but I do want to let you know right off the bat, right here, orbital action. They kept it. That's a great thing. It makes these saws a lot faster, especially during demolition. We'll take a look and see how that works out here in a little bit when we're cutting down through a treated 6x6 with no pilot holes. But right here is a big one. Now, even though this is not a monster of a hook, it's still a hook, a rafter hook, which a lot of people have been asking for. They wanted Ridgid to put these rafter hooks on the Recip saws, and they listened. Ridgid, you listen to your customers. Who knew that was a thing? The other thing that they kept on this Recip saw was the adjustable shoe. If they would have gotten rid of this, I would have been bummed out, and thank goodness they did not. You can take it out fully or adjust it simply by lifting up on it, bringing it down to where you want it, and then closing down that shoe right here. Now, here is what's sort of surprising about this Recip saw. The Milwaukee Super Sawzall has 3,000 strokes per minute. The stroke length on that saw is 1 1/4 inch. This is 1 1/4 inch of a stroke length, and it also has 3,200 strokes per minute. That was pretty interesting to me. So what we're going to do later this week is actually put this saw not only up against the Super Sawzall from Milwaukee, but we're also going to put it up against the Ridgid Octane that they are no longer carrying. That's right, Ridgid Octane is gone. This is the new flagship, the Ridgid Max Output. A lot of people love the Gen5X, so if they're getting rid of it, they better replace it with something that people are going to love, and I'm hoping this is the one. And before we get into this a little bit deeper, I want to let you know that if you have Octane batteries or your regular Ridgid batteries, any Ridgid battery will work on this saw, but using the max output batteries will give the saw more power than what those other batteries would. And yes, the new max output batteries will also work on your older tools and also give them more power than what the batteries you are currently using would. I know that makes sense to you. Now, if you were wondering about price, this saw will be marked at $169 US at the Home Depot. That is the tool only. However, they will be including this saw in other combo kits, which include other Ridgid max output tools and batteries. And yes, it is 100% brushless. But enough of my bleeping and the blabbing. We're gonna go out, we're gonna use and abuse, we're gonna slice and dice, and we're gonna see what this thing can or maybe cannot do. Let's do it.
Now, we are going to be making a bunch of different cuts today. Some through some super thick steel and some through wood with nails in it. I am going to speed up some of these cuts so you are not completely bored. But yes, we will be using the most famous treated 6x6 with no pilot holes in the world. Treated 6x6 with no pilot holes.
All right, so we are using the all-new max output 4AH Ridgid battery. And we are going to start slicing and dicing with a brand new clean wood blade. All right, we're gonna throw the blade in like this, super easy, quick release right here up on the side, which feels really easy to get to and super heavy duty, so I'm happy to see that. We're gonna pull up, throw that blade in like so, and it is locked. If I wanna release this and take that blade out, just pull up on that and pull it out. So that is real nice. All right, here we go. We're gonna do some clean wood first, and then we will put some nails in this and see how it does. 3, 2, 1. Oh, by the way, the orbital is off.
This is going to get kind of boring, so I'm going to start speeding it up.
All right, pretty simple to get through, and there's a reason why I turned the orbital off, because I want to show you the difference when the orbital is turned on and when you're doing demolition or going down through a treated 6x6 with no pilot hole, and why I get on other companies so hard about not adding orbital to their saws. Let's turn the orbital on and see the difference. Orbital motion is now on. real nice like.
Real nice like.
So right now we are going to do nail embedded treated 6x6 with no pilot holes. Check it out, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna switch up the blades and we're just gonna see what this saw can do by itself. I'm not gonna push down on it. I am still gonna keep it on orbital action, but I'm gonna let the saw do the work. Now here we go. Again, I am just going to let the saw do the work. 3,
My
2,
friends,
1.
I am going to speed this clip up as well. I just don't want you to get bored while you're sitting there watching me cut a piece of treated 6x6. I mean, that's the last thing I want is for this channel or this video to be boring. I mean, what is this, BCG construction? No, I didn't think so.
All right, so after what I just seen, I am going to give you my opinion, and you can give me your opinion in the comment section below, but I am loving the new Ridgid max output Recip saw. I really expected this thing to start bogging down in that treated 6x6 with no pilot holes, but it held its own with the 4AH battery. That said, I did notice a slight sag here and there, but nothing like I experienced on the Octane or the Gen5X. However, with a larger battery such as a 6.0 or an 8.0, this thing will probably not experience sagging at all when it comes to power, and I can't wait to try those batteries on this.
Now, there are two little gripes that I have about this. One is I think the padding underneath the unit needs to be thickened up a little bit, and
it's definitely heavier up in the front. It doesn't feel all that well balanced until you put your hands up underneath and then you can control it a little bit more. I truly believe that orbital action on a Recip saw is a must. You have to have it, and Ridgid put it back on their Recip saw, so that is a job well done. As for the adjustable shoe, I am also happy that they left that feature on there. People love it and I don't want to see it go away. As for the blade release, it is quick, it is simple and easy to get to. You lift up on it, you pull that blade out, you lift up on it again, put a new blade in. It takes a second. You have that bright LED light up on front. You do not have a dedicated light trigger on the bottom, which I don't care about. I never really use that anyway, and it just sort of gets in the way. But I'm happy they included the LED. Super easy to put it in safety mode if you want to. You can lock it simply by pushing over on that little button right here. The rafter hook, even though it's not the beefiest thing that I've ever seen, I don't see any issues with this thing falling off of a ladder or your sawhorses. I'll tell you what, so happy that they added this into their design. This was a must as well. Congratulations, Ridgid. As for the weight, you're looking around 6 pounds, so definitely not the lightest Recip saw, but definitely not the heaviest. To give you an example, the Milwaukee Super Sawzall weighs around 8.5 pounds. Now, as for vibration, it's a Recip saw. Let's move it along. Now, all kidding aside, you're going to notice some vibration, but again, it is a Recip saw. There is some protection padding up on top. You got that overmold, so I would like to see that beefed up just a little bit. But when it comes to power, I am telling you now, it is definitely more powerful than the Octane. It's definitely more powerful than I think even the Gen5X. I think this is the most powerful saw that they have out there with the 3,200 strokes per minute and the 1 1/4 inch stroke length. This thing is definitely a lot faster than any other Ridgid Recip saw that I've ever used. So I think they are moving in the right direction. I am happy to see that they came out with this saw. Even though there are some confusions, I want to remind you, we have a full video, which I will put right here, explains all the new battery technology that Ridgid just came out with, all the new tools. But the Gen5X, the Ridgid Octane, they're gone. This is their new flagship right here, the max output. And this Recip saw is the best you can get for Ridgid at the moment. But I want to know what you think. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. What do you think about the new Recip saw? We're going to have all of the other new Ridgid max output tools coming to the channel this upcoming week. We're also going to be doing tool duels. This compared to the Gen5X and the Octane and many, many more. So get subscribed, hit that bell notification so you don't miss it, because it's going to be freaking awesome. And of course, if you could smash that like button. Freaking awesome. I always appreciate you stopping by. With that, we'll be back with more videos soon.